Friday. Just getting set up here. I'm over on my TikTok account. TikTok sends notifications out, YouTube doesn't. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. And YouTube doesn't really show me much of anything except the time that I'm streaming. And if people are on, if you don't comment, I can't shout you out on YouTube because YouTube doesn't show me that. TikTok does show me that. TikTok does show me people coming on if somebody does something, if they like the live, but YouTube does not. So if you're on and you don't comment, I can't shout you out. Good morning. Is it Janine? Looks like there's some numbers after your name. Good morning, Crystal. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. Exmara Torres, welcome. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I get people on these lives and my social media accounts from all over the world. Good morning, Nicholas. Oh, you're from Rome, Italy. My sister right now and her husband are in Italy right now. But they've only sent us one picture so far. Good morning, Joseph. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. My grandfather came to the United States from Italy. He was from Abruzzi when he was like 16 years old. Him and then I'm not sure if my grandmother came with him or they met after they were here, but he's from the town of Abruzzi. Good morning. Is it Ike or T something? Good morning. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you are on my YouTube channel, if you don't comment, I can't see you, so I can't shout you out. TikTok does show me when people are coming on. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Diana. If you like the video and if anybody wants to like the live, I can see that on TikTok. I can't see that on YouTube. After I end the live stream on YouTube, I can go over and see if anybody's liked the video. But if you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Would love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Lori. How much time a day do you spend on social media? And I know when I ask that, nobody really wants to say why or how long you spend on. I did have somebody, she was honest. She said she spends way too much time on social media. I think a lot of people do. Now I'm on it. I do online marketing, making money from home. I am using it for business. So, and like on TikTok pays me for doing these lives. You can get monetized on social media channels. Good morning, Andy. Most of them have a monetization program. Good morning, Kenny. I would be monetized on Instagram, but they discontinued their program. Good morning, Debbie. And they actually pay you now. Instagram used to pay you for the views on your reels. They stopped doing that like in 2023. Good morning, Winnie. Good morning, Sydney. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, is it Murrow? If you're jumping on, what part of the world you're coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. I've got my whiteboard today, and TikTok always does this. It turns the mirror back on. Okay, now you can see it the right way. But what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? That's my question today. And if anybody wants to answer that and drop it in the comments. The truth is, in life in general, most people never go after their dreams, and I think that's kind of sad. And somebody may need to hear that you can go after your dreams, and it's your birthright. And I believe most people need to hear this. It's your birthright to be wealthy. God didn't mean for anybody to be living in poverty or be broke, and yet most people are. Most people, if you're working a job, you're living paycheck to paycheck. And if you had some sort of an emergency that came up, most people don't have $1,000 in savings. You'd be wondering how you were going to, like your car broke down, how you were going to pay to get it fixed. Good morning, Fred. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Cool Da. Good morning, Janet. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. The question I'm asking today, what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And most people, unfortunately, don't ever go after their dreams. I think that's kind of sad. And I have a friend she always wanted to be a therapist. She has a master's degree in education. And she has a job working as a teacher. That's what she did for her career. And she always wanted to be a therapist. So she ended up doing this part-time. She went back to school at night part-time while she's still working a full-time job to get the education she needed and the training to be a therapist. She just spent 8 years doing that. She graduated. She saw one client, that was it. She never really went after it. If anybody wants to like my live, I really appreciate it, whether you're on my TikTok account or on my YouTube channel. It helps my accounts out. But she never did anything with it after that. She spent all that time, the time and the money to get the education and training she needed to do that. She saw one client and that was it. And most people, it is true. Unfortunately, it is true. It's sad too. Most people don't go after their dreams. And I know when I listened to my mentor, I mean, she had a business that she worked out of her house. It was a daycare. She did that for 10 years. And she did some network marketing, which she's, as she puts it, she failed miserably. And then she dove into the digital marketing space. And now, 3 years later, she's made $8 million, has a community of over 56,000 people. She just went after it. This summer, she took a trip with her kids to Italy. I think Turkey and Greece were the three countries they went to. Because she has the time now and the money to do what she wants. She's completely set herself and her family to be financially free. So my question is, what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And so people, you can see this on my YouTube channel and my TikTok account. What's holding you back? It's true. Most people never go after their dreams. It's your birthright to be wealthy. God didn't mean for anybody to be broke or living in poverty, and yet so many people are. And and a lot of you, if anybody wants to admit it, I know when now I haven't worked a job in 9 years, over 9 years. When I was still working a job, I was living like most people, paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't as bad off at that point from the job I lost 14 years ago because I was able to say I was making enough money. I was able to save money, which most people can't do that. Good morning, Natalie. Good morning, Curry. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. But what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? I mean, it's really not that, that hard. And a lot of people, and most people, you probably at some point thought about it. If you could go, good morning, Fred, you're from Ohio. Okay, thanks for jumping on. If you, and you, most people probably have had some thought of it about doing something that you've dreamed about doing. You might have a job you don't like very much. And today's Friday, so I think that makes it a little easier for most people because it's the weekend. But I call it the Sunday night blues as the weekend wears on, and then it's Sunday afternoon, getting into Sunday evening. Most people, if you start thinking about if you really don't like what you're doing, having the thought of having to go back to work on Monday to your job. Yeah. So what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And a lot of you are on here. When I say, why are you on social media? Most people don't want to answer. And I'll say, where are you coming in from? I get more responses to that. And then another question, why are you on social media? Most people don't answer that. And then the other one I don't get a lot of answers to is, how much time a day do you spend on social media? Now, I did have somebody that she was honest enough. She said she spends way too much time on social media. I'm on social media and I probably spend a few hours a day. I have a business. My time is productive. And actually, TikTok is paying me for doing these lives. So when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid. And most of you, a lot of you, you're on social media and you're scrolling. And scrolling's not going to make you any money. And how much time a day do you spend on social media? Most people don't want to answer that. I did have somebody else who said she spends like 2 to 3 hours. And the woman who said, that was honest enough and said, I spend way too much time on social media. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, eFood 1940. Not sure what that means. Good morning, Sylvia. Good morning, Uni. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. If you like my video, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. Now, if you don't comment, if you're on my YouTube channel and you don't comment, I can't see you. YouTube doesn't show me who's on. TikTok does, so I can see. Good morning, Juan. I could see when people are coming on. If somebody likes my video, I can see that, or TikTok gives out these badges. If you want to like my live stream, I'd really appreciate it because that helps my accounts out, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. But most people, it's fine. And I think that's one of the reasons why people like these lives so much is because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to show your face. You can jump on and off it whenever you want. You could be laying on your couch and then grab your phone and jump on somebody's live. And I'm certain you're not jumping on my live. You're jumping on other people's lives. Good morning, Dale. Good morning, Fiona. Good morning, Uncle Zeke. Is that what people call you? But most people, when they get on these, they don't, and I say, well, where are you coming from? That's a simple question. Another question is why are you on social media? A lot of people are, scrolling. Good morning. Thank you, Von Eric, for liking the live. Uncle Zeke, you got a #1 badge. But today I want, and you may have thought about this, you may not have, but what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And most people sadly don't go after their dreams. They may think about it, but they never do anything or put a plan to action. And I have a friend of mine who we've known each other for years or decades at this point. She has a master's degree in education. She always wanted to be a therapist. She spent 8 years at night part-time while she works full-time teaching in the school district, worked on that, finished that, got that training and the education she needed to be a therapist. She saw one patient and then that's it. She never did anything else with it. And she spent time and money to get the training and education she needed, and then she didn't do much with it. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Bounty. Is that what people call you? Saw one patient and then never did anything, after that. Didn't look to get more clients, to spend more time doing it. Good morning, Susie. Good morning, Bevs Brown. I'm sorry, what do people call you? Good morning, Lisa. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Good morning, Kelly. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Penn. And I'm about probably 2-hour drive from New York City in the Northeast on the United States, East Coast side. So if you're jumping on, let me know why you're on social media. How much time a day do you spend on social media? Good morning, Money Making Mama. Good morning, user 8257. Good morning, Susie. For people who you set up a TikTok account, if you don't put any name on, and I see that person, you don't have a picture, TikTok's just going to assign you what they call a user number. It's a long number. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, Elias. And I did a video that I posted on my TikTok account about how to set up your profile correctly. Good morning, Gregory. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, Jewel. What part of the world are you coming in from? But today I'm just kind of talking about what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams. Sadly, most people don't go after their dreams. Good morning, Chelsea. It looks like a dog picture on that. What part of the world are you coming in from? I'd love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Bella. And I'm asking the question, what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? Sadly, most people don't go after their dreams. Good morning, Bella. Good morning, is it Dilron? Yeah, and a couple of you that you just put something on your thing and you didn't put your picture up. I did talk about that because I do believe most of you have some reason you're on social media. Good morning, Jesse. And a lot of you, and some people I do recognize because you've gotten on my live before. Good morning, Jamie, or your username indicates to me something that you're doing there. And there was somebody up here, Digital Marketing Mama. I believe that you may probably be in the same community I'm in. Good morning, athlete and there's a number there. Where are you coming in from? But have you ever stopped and thought about your dreams, or do you just, kind of brush it aside? Because it is true. Most people don't go after their dreams. I think that's sad. And a lot of you're doing something that you don't really like very much. And a friend of mine who she always wanted to be a therapist. She had a master's degree in education. That's what she taught. But she was a teacher. She worked with kids that are visually impaired. That's what she went to school for and what she did. But what she did when she was still working, she was working a full-time job. She went back to school to get the training and education she needed to be a therapist. Did that part-time. She spent 8 years doing that. She invested the time and money, and then she got one client, and that's all she ever did with it. Good morning, Ash. Good morning, Mina. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. But she never did anything else with it, despite investing that time and money to go get the education and training she needed to do that, and they never did anything. And it is sad but true. But most people never go after their dreams. So what's holding you back from going after your dreams? And a lot of people, and nobody really wants to share very much. I got a flash goal. Thank you. I'm not sure who said that. TikTok's not telling me, but most people don't go after their dreams. A lot of you are working jobs, full-time jobs that you don't really like that much. Good morning, Nana. Good morning, QDS. And I think that's sad. And my mentor now, and she's talked about this because she was struggling. She's a mom of 6 kids. She's got 5 grandchildren. And she had a business. She worked out of her house, a daycare that she did that for 10 years, got into this digital marketing. And now today she's been doing digital marketing for about 3 years. She's made $8 million. And I believe she'll probably be at 9 or 10 before the end of this year goes out. She took her kids and they went on a vacation this summer. They went to Italy, Greece. I think Turkey was the other country they were there. And she was talking about, how she's been living the life of her dreams. She's got a house that she bought, her dream house she bought in Kansas, that she had the whole thing refurbished. They moved in February, and now they just bought a place in Dallas because she's a huge Dallas Cowboy fan and she has tickets. She's in Dallas, when Dallas is there playing at home. Good morning, TikTok lawyer. Good morning, QDS. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. How much time do you spend a day on social media? And most people don't seem to want to answer that. Good morning, Romel. What part of the world are you coming in from? Good morning, beautiful mind. And it's people, that set up social media accounts. I mean, I have my account, my name, because I'm branding myself. I have a business. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And there is a way you want to set up your profile to set up and optimize it. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Tracy. I did a video and posted it on my TikTok account about how to set up your account correctly. Because good morning, Matthew, because there's a lot of people on social media, you're not using it correctly. And you have the opportunity, because I believe most of the people on here, you have a reason. You may have a cause you're supporting. There's a woman on here, she's got a nonprofit that supports women who are victims of domestic violence. And she's using social media to get the word out about it. Some people have an online business like me. Some people have an offline business, and they're using social media to get exposure for it. And for no matter what reason you're using it, you want to set up your account correctly, and you want to learn how to use social media correctly. Most people are not using it correctly. There's people spamming people all over the place. If you're sending anybody or commenting on somebody's content in the comments, if you're putting a link to anything, a video, a website, whatever it is, and you're just dropping that on people's content, or you're private messaging people, sending it, that's spam. You don't want to spam people. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Appalachia. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Joseph. Where are you coming in from? That is spam. And there's a lot of people doing that. I mean, I get people that do that on my content. I get people private messaging me, sending me links to videos, websites. You want to, if you're doing something and you want to ask somebody, good morning, Gigi, you never want to send them something about what you're doing. You want to ask them first and get their permission. They say no, just thank them for their time and move on. But there's a lot of people doing that, and they're spamming stuff all over the place. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Sadie. That is spam, and that can get you in trouble with the site. Good morning, John, because the site may not like what you're doing, and then start issuing you community guidelines violations, and you can lose your account. You don't own any of your social media accounts. You don't control them. You can lose them at any time. And if a lot of people, if you're spamming, good morning, Freddie, you're going to push yourself a lot closer to losing the account. And I know when people do it on my stuff, whether it's live streams like this or my videos, I block them immediately, or if they private message me on whatever platform and they're sending something and they're spamming me, I do block them. Good morning, Todd. That is spam. You don't want to do that. And not only can you get in trouble with the platform that you're using, if you're trying to attract people to you, you're not going to do that, because I know I get immediately turned off when people do that. Good morning, Dina. And I end up having to um, go block them or just clear that out if it's private messages. So they're really wasting my time. And so if you are using social media, you want to learn how to use it correctly. And most people are not. Todd, you got a number 2 gift badger. TikTok does keep a record of it up at the top. If anybody sends gifts or those gift badgers, they usually list them out, who's number 1, who's number 2. TikTok does that, YouTube does not. I am live streaming in 2 places. I have software that lets me live stream on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I've got TikTok on my phone and I've got YouTube on my MacBook Pro. So I'm on Good Morning Tom. I'm on Good Morning Tippa. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Why are you on social media? I do believe there's a lot of you that you get on social media because you're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And if you come and think about it, and most people don't want to answer, like, how much time a day do you spend on social media? I did have somebody, a woman that was honest enough, that said she spends way too much time on social media. Thank you, Michael. You got a number 1 gift badger. Thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like it, that helps my account out, whether you're on my Good Morning Chick, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account. If you don't comment on YouTube, I can't shout you out because I can't see who's on. YouTube does not show me that. They just show me the time I'm streaming and the number of people on, but I can't see who's on. So if you don't comment, I can't shout you out over there. Good morning, user 2153. And today I was talking about, I've got my whiteboard. What's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And most people, you're probably not going to answer that. And unfortunately, today, most people don't go after their dreams. I think it's sad because you can do anything you want. And I had a really close friend of mine. Good morning, Laura. We've known each other, or is it Laurie or Laura? She wanted to be a therapist. She had a master's degree in education. She was a teacher. She spent 8 years at night going to school, getting the education and the training she needed to do that. She had 1 client, and that's all she did. She never really did anything with it. And I think and the fact that she spent 8 years doing that. Good morning, Batul. I'm not sure what that is. Good morning, Gazelle Garcia. Where are you coming in from? She never did anything else with it. She spent that time and money. That was a dream of hers. And sadly, most people don't go after their dreams. I think that's really sad. And I've met a lot of people since I've been doing this that they had a dream and they turned it into a reality. My mentor's one of them. Good morning, Lara Jaka. Good morning. Ooh, I'm not going to try that. So if you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Love to know why you're on social media. How much time a day do you spend on social media? And next week, actually Thursday the 16th, it'll be 3 months I've been doing these, and I've had like 2 people answer that. And the one, she was being really honest. She said she spends way too much time on social media. And I do think it can get addicting. You could say you're only going to get on for 15 or 20 minutes, and then it turns into a half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you spend all that time scrolling. Good morning, baby T-Gress 1. What do people call you? And you're spending all this time on social media. And when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid. Actually, TikTok pays me for doing these live streams. You can get monetized on just about any social media platform that you want. Good morning, Carrie. Where are you coming in from? And I'm talking about today, most people don't want to say how much time you spend on social media. Maybe you spend so much, way too much time, and you don't want to you don't want to admit that. But the one woman, she was honest, and she said she spends way too much time. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Daryl Matthews. Not sure. I mean, some people don't put their names in their account. Some people put their whole name. Some people use something else. Um, and if you are using social media to promote something, if you're doing what I'm doing, you want to brand yourself. There's very little room on most social media platforms. TikTok's got a tiny bit of room for you to put what your account's about. Good morning, Barbara. Thank you for the fan club thing. I really appreciate it. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I was talking today. I did my whiteboard here. What's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And sadly, most people never go after their dreams. And I have a friend who wanted always to be a therapist. You're in PA. Barbara, so am I. I'm close to Philadelphia. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. Good morning, Robs. If you're jumping on, good morning, Jeffrey. Let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I was just talking, what's holding you back from keep living the life of your dreams. Sadly, most people don't go after their dreams. Do you have a dream? And I know my mentor's actually, you're about an hour from Pittsburgh. Okay. Good morning, Lucky for Life. Most people don't go after their dreams. And I had a friend who was a teacher and wanted to be a therapist. Eric, you're saying, I'm looking for a business to supplement my retirement. Okay. Well, Eric, if what you want to do is let me send you information. If you come up here to the top of my profile, in there's a description in the bio. My website's there, payudaily.com. You can go right to that, click that, or you can just put my website, payudaily.com, in your browser. It'll take you over, put your email address in, watch the 2 videos, go down, read the whole page. You'll get an email from me that has in it, there's a link for my free PDF. It's a blueprint I'm using. You can click on that. You can download it, save it to your computer. That's yours to keep. That's the blueprint. If you have any questions after you go through all the information, because you want to get the right amount of information to educate yourself and then make a decision, go through all that. And if you've got questions, just respond back to my email. But it's digital marketing is what I do. And we teach you a lot of other things, how to use social media correctly, because we're using it. I'm using it. I use it for free, how to build an email list, how to create additional streams of income, of recurring or residual income. But go through all that. And after that, if you have a question, respond back to my email. I'd be glad to answer it. Good morning, Fab Tees. And I'm going to assume your account, you have a social media account. It's got something to do with t-shirts. Is that a good guess? So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Today I was talking about what's holding you back from living the life of your dreams. Sadly, most people don't go after their dreams. And I know my mentor had a dream, and she has turned her dream into a reality. She actually took her kids. They went on a trip this summer to Greece, Turkey, and Italy. I was pretty sure it's those 3 countries. They were there for like a couple weeks. She was putting pictures on social media, but she wanted to change her life, and she did. And she's been able to do that and change her family's life. And now in 3 years, she's made $8 million. I believe she'll probably be at 9 or 10 before the end of this year. But she went after it. Good morning, Eugenia. Good morning, Bobos. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Adam. Where are you coming in from? Unfortunately, sadly, most people don't do that. And there's a lot of people that get on my lives. And the guy, Eric, was asking for something that would supplement his retirement. There's a lot of people that are in retirement, and it's not enough, because I don't see how anybody could live off of Social Security. Some people are getting near retirement and realizing they don't have the money to retire. Good morning, Carlo. And a lot of people are just in a 9-to-5 job, and they're trying to make ends meet. Some people are working 2 jobs and they still can't make ends meet. We have somebody in our community. Good morning, Scott. She was working 2 jobs. She was exhausted all the time and never had any time to do anything with her kids or do anything. She started doing digital marketing, and now she's making enough money. She's left both of those jobs. No, Social Security, Barbara, is not enough. And most people are getting somewhere between 16, and I think the most you can get is 2,200. I don't see how anybody can live off of that. And a lot of people are in that situation. Either they're in retirement and they're realizing, that you can't live off of Social Security, like what Barbara was saying. I'm saying the same thing. And then some people, you're getting close to retirement, and you're realizing the time's passing by and you're getting close to it and you can't retire. There's a lot of people struggling working more than one job and you still can't make ends meet. And we have a woman in our group, Amy, who was working two jobs. One of them was a waitress. I've never done that kind of work, but I can imagine it's exhausting. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Rhonda. Now, most people, right? Most people didn't plan, and now they're in this situation. And with Amy was working two jobs and she was exhausted, never had time to see her kids. And she started doing digital marketing. Now she's left both those jobs. She's making more money doing this than she was with the jobs. So a lot of people are in that situation. I know every time I go to the grocery store, I could buy the exact same thing from one week to next, and it's more money. I mean, the only thing I think that hasn't gone up recently is gas. Actually, it's costing me less to fill my car with gas, but groceries. Good morning, Gio. Good morning, Sonia. And even if I've noticed going out to eat, I could have gone 2 weeks ago to the same restaurant, gotten the same thing, and now today that the price is up, and prices are just, especially with food, and if people, suppliers, and all stores are all having to spend more to get it, they're going to just pass those costs on to consumers. Good morning, Susie. Because it just seems like I do food shopping usually once a week. It seems like every time I go to the grocery store, the prices have gone up. And if you're trying to live on a fixed income like Social Security, you're probably not going to make it. Good morning, is that Renan? Good morning, Michelle. Jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Good morning, Chiron. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. But I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 to 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. I've been online, actually. I've been doing this for 14 years in September. I haven't worked a full-time job in over 9 years. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And this industry, it's changed my life and so many others. If you take this seriously, it can completely change your life. There's a lot of people that start this and they just don't take it seriously. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Nettie. Where are you coming in from? Now, I am live streaming in two places. If you're on my YouTube live stream and you don't say anything, I can't shout you out because YouTube does not show me that. TikTok does, because I can see when people are coming on. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Edwin. I can see when people are coming on. If somebody likes the live, I can see that. TikTok gives out these badges. Good morning, Eileen. If somebody gets one, I can see that too. YouTube does not show me any of that. So good morning. Is it Fred or Frio? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. YouTube does not show me that. So I can't, and that's why I'm not shouting out anybody over there, because if you don't comment, I don't even know who's on. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning. Is it Rodrigo? Today I was talking about, I usually bring my whiteboard with me. What's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And most people, sadly, don't go after that. They have something they thought about and they could be thinking about it for a long time and they never do it. And I have a friend who did that. She wanted to be a therapist. She did spend the time and money. She went to school part-time for 8 years. And then when she got the training and education she needed, she only saw one client, didn't do anything. Reverse image, is this the low IQ channel? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, are you saying I'm stupid or other people are stupid? I don't know what you mean by that. Good morning, Candy. Good morning, Mary. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I do have a YouTube channel. I don't consider mine a low IQ. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Or are you just posting something negative? Because most of the time on my content, whether you're on a live stream like this, one of my videos, if you make negative comments or you're not, spamming or whatever, I block you immediately. Earl, how to be an Adidas affiliate. Okay. And how many people have jumped on here? There's a video there. It's pinned at the top of my TikTok profile. I do tell you in the video, if you wanted to be an Adidas affiliate, I tell you where to go to sign up. That's all there is. If you don't know how to, they're not going to give you any training, any mentorship. You can sign up for free. They may or may not accept you. They don't accept everybody, is what I'm being told. Um, and they're only going to pay. You can sign up for that. They're only going to pay you an average 1 to 5%. Okay, well, dude, you're gone. This person now, he's left another negative comment, so I had to block him. Back to the Adidas thing. So if you want to do that, they're only going to pay you 1 to 5%. It's free to sign up. But if you don't know how to use social media, you don't have an email list, you don't have a following, the chances are slim you're going to make any money with that. 80% of companies in the world, good morning, Marie, have affiliate programs. Adidas is one, Nike has one, Target, Walmart, Amazon. They all have affiliate programs. You can sign up for them for free. On average, they pay 1 to 5%. Now, if you want to even make an extra $500 a month with that, you're going to have to get hundreds of sales a month to make $500. And if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to get people to your page, and you're just sending people to a page so they can only see that once, you've got a missing piece because you need a system. Chances are slim you're going to make any money. They're not going to train you. You're not going to get any mentorship. So unless you know what you're doing, and I do believe if you knew what you were doing, you would understand affiliate marketing, and that 80% of companies do have affiliate programs, but on average they pay 1 to 5%. To me, that's not worth it. I average 900 a sale. So in a month, if I get 12 sales, that's $10,800. It's a lot easier to get 12 sales than it is to get hundreds. And the percentage is so low on anything you'd promote on Adidas, and they'd actually make more money per sale than you would. So I don't think that's worth it. But if you want to do that, go back to the video. I tell you where to go to sign up, and they may or may not approve you. Good morning, Maggie. And a lot of people, I think, you're attracted to that because it's free. And it is free to sign up. There's other affiliate programs you can sign up for. They, in general, pay you 20 to 40%. I've done those. I've done high ticket affiliate marketing. I've done network marketing. And I decided, and I had some of my own products that I make 100%. And I really like that. So digital marketing pays me 100%. The money comes right to me. And even with a high ticket affiliate program, I had somebody that came through my link, which she bought was $25,000. I made 22% of that, which that's $6,200. That's great. I made that in a day. I woke up to that. That's more money than I made in a whole month when I was working a job. But over 18,000 went back to the company, and it was all my effort. They didn't do anything, and they made way more money. And I decided I'd rather make 100%. And the money comes to me, nobody's holding it. Yeah, Barbara, you have to have you can't do this by yourself. You can't do this without a mentor. You can't do this without training. Good morning, Anna. And I spent, and I've shared this on this thing. Now, this guy's telling me I'm a dingbat, so I blocked him. I did the first year I got into this industry, I didn't know anyone. I knew somehow people were making money on the internet, and this is 14 years ago. I think it was God telling me. I went to Google, I searched make money online. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF with how to set up pay-per-click ads. I did that. I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which you never want to do. You don't know what you don't know. And I didn't make any money. And then after a year, I knew that I had to get around somebody who had done what I wanted to do, to learn from them, because you really can't do this by yourself. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Making Money with Bobby. And I'm going to assume by your title that you're in this space. So I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a proven system. And the people asking me about the Adidas thing, if they do approve you, they send you affiliate link that's cookie to you. It's just one page. So you only have one opportunity to talk to people. Good morning, Richard. And then the issue with that is the person's gone. You want to send them to a website, a squeeze page, a landing page, a capture page to get their email address and get them on your email list. You want to build an email list because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. I've lost 10 accounts on TikTok. One of them, I had over 200,000 followers. I stayed off of TikTok for quite some time. And then last June, I started this account. I had the same thing. Somebody hacked my Instagram account and deleted it. Um, and I had to start over there again. And last June, I started posting 3 videos a day on this TikTok account and 3 on Instagram. I'm over 110,000 followers on TikTok. I'm monetized. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'd be monetized over there, but they discontinued their program. They stopped doing that. So you can lose your account at any time. That's why you want to build an email list. It's an asset. You may have heard the money's in the list. That's true. For on average, for every subscriber you have on your list, that should be worth about $1 in revenue a month. It's an asset. Then you can learn how to send emails out to your list to make money. And you have a system that's running for you. It's working for you 24/7. I've got emails going out for me on my behalf. You need a tool called an autoresponder. You can start with most of them for free. The one I use, you get 2,000 up to 2,000 subscribers for free, but you want to get more than 2,000 people on your list. You want to keep building it. It's an asset. It's the only thing online you really own. And I've lost enough accounts to know that. And I thought at one point I was never going to get back on TikTok, but I do think TikTok is the easiest platform. I mean, I've been on YouTube since 2013. I've seen people in this industry who've never gotten any results get on TikTok and get leads and sales. So I do think it's the easiest platform. And if any of us that live in the United States, this whole thing with TikTok being banned in the U.S., that's been going on for a while. We don't know what's going to happen. President Trump did sign another 90-day thing that goes to December, and that extends it to them, but we still don't know. Good morning, Holly. Where are you coming in from? So this guy is, yeah, I don't, that's not how you want to go to my website. I just put it there. Is it AJ? I'm not sure what people call you. Go to my website, put your email address in. You'll get an email from me. It's got my free PDF. You can download it and keep that. If you've got questions, you can respond back to my email. Good morning, Geraldine. Good morning, Bobby. Good morning, Purposeful Pivot. What is your account about? Most people, when I say, why are you on social media? Most people don't want to answer me. I find that fascinating. Another question when I say, how much time do you spend on social media every day? And I did have one woman was honest, and she said she spends way too much time on social media, and a lot of people do. And if you're when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid. In fact, TikTok is paying me to do these live streams. I can get monetized on both of them, on most of them. Although right now, Instagram did discontinue their program in 2023. They used to pay people for the views you got in your reels, but they stopped that. Good morning, Brittany. And TikTok has a number of ways you can get paid, but you do have to. Most of them have requirements that you have to meet before you can apply. Like on TikTok, you have to have at least 10,000 followers, and in the last 30 days, you've had to at least get 100,000 views on your account. Yeah, Barbara, it is, and I believe a lot of people. It is addicting. They get on and then they just scroll, and the time goes by. Good morning, user 7284. They just scroll and they keep scrolling, and it's 30 minutes, and then it's an hour, and then it's 2 hours, and you've wasted all that time. Why not get paid? And when I'm on it, no, AJ, you cannot. So if you want to talk to me, go to my website, put your email address in, take a look. You'll get the email from me with the link in it, with my free PDF. You can download and keep it. That's yours to keep. But no, I don't. I don't do Telegram. I don't do WhatsApp or any of that. And there's people. You want to be really careful on social media because there's fake accounts, and there's at least, I haven't looked in a while, but there's at least 10 fake accounts of me. How you can tell a fake account is because each platform only allows like one username. My username on TikTok is The Real Linda Bomba. There's no extra spaces in there, letters, numbers, symbols. And what people do is they take my picture, they take my videos, they create an account. And if you look at the people's handles, their usernames, there's something slightly different about the fake ones. Now, some of these, I don't know if they're buying followers or not. They can look like they've got a following, but I don't use Telegram. I don't use WhatsApp. I'm never going to message you and ask you for money. I don't do crypto. I don't do Forex. And they'll start out messaging you, make you think it's me. It's not me. I don't message people that way. Um, AJ, I don't have jobs. I've got somebody over here, and that's not what I do. It's a business, is what I do. If you need a job, if you're looking for a remote job, I can tell you they're really hard to get. You're probably not going to be able to get one unless you've got some special experience that people that want. But I don't have jobs. I'm not an employer. I'm not a headhunter or anything, a recruitment employment agency. If it's some other people in here asking me for jobs, that's not what I do. I don't. It's what I do is not a job. I don't have a boss. I make my own hours. I work out of my house. So I don't. If you're looking for a job, I'm not. I don't have jobs. That's not what I do. I would say to you, and I know Uber is in 70 countries. I'm pretty sure it's in India. Check and see something like Uber or DoorDash, because they basically hire people immediately. Where I live, and I live on the East Coast of the United States, just about every place I go into, they're looking to hire. When I lost my job, people were getting 1,500 resumes. If your resume, your application even made it out of the stack, I got a total of 3 interviews over looking for a job for a year. I never had trouble finding a job. The job I eventually ended up getting, it was $12.50 an hour in a call center. I lost that job. And after going through that twice, having somebody stand there and hand me my severance papers, I decided to take control of my own destiny. And I decide how much money I want to make. I decide when I want to work. Good morning, Godfather. What do people call you? And been doing this now. It was 14 years last month. I've been in this industry. I haven't worked a job in 9, but I don't do that. I have nothing to do with jobs. And the other people that have gotten on these lies once saying that, there are plenty of jobs where I live and my part of the world. Just about every place I walk into, even if it's something you've never done, they'll probably hire you because they're so desperate to hire people and train you. In fact, I was getting some blood work done at LabCorp, and the tech I was talking to her, usually that's a year or 2 of schooling. She said she didn't go to school. She took a job at a hospital. Good morning, Kev 14. They trained her and showed her how to, and now she's working at LabCorp, but she took a hot job at a hospital. Most places are like that. There's a woman who follows me she's been homeless for several years, and I don't understand why she's been living in her car with her cat, why she doesn't, and Walmart will pay $18 an hour to be a cashier. I was making $12.50 an hour in a call center. I took that job because I needed the money that she could work on, at least trying to find a room somewhere that she could rent a room from somebody, get some money coming in. And her response to me was she didn't want to work a menial job like that. Well, sometimes you have to do stuff. I mean, I didn't want to take a job. $12.50 an hour is way less than what I was making, but I took it because I needed the money. It kept me going. Because you can't do this. Anybody you see that's making money, it's because they invested time and money to learn a high income skill. You can learn this in 2 weeks. You're not going to master it in 2 weeks, because you're going to have to start doing something every day, and you start getting better at it. And I've done over 5,000 videos now, so I've gotten pretty good at videos. I know how to get them to go viral and get millions of views, on how to get them to get people to comment on them, so I can send them my information. I've learned how to do that. It's a skill, and it's the skills you master in this industry that nobody can ever take away from you. It's your social media accounts. Yeah, you can lose them in a second. And I'm basically starting over again on TikTok and Instagram because I lost all my accounts. On Instagram, somebody hacked my account. And then they went shopping, they ran ads, and then they deleted it. I had 2 other Instagram accounts that Instagram suspended. And then Instagram did not rule in my favor. So I lost 3 accounts over there. So I'm starting all over again. Good morning, Peggy. Good morning, Rich. It is a high income skill. And anybody you see that's making money is because they were coachable, they were consistent, they did the work. I have a blueprint I'm following. You can get this down to like 2 hours a day. In fact, when I'm done here, I have an appointment to take my tire pressure lights coming on my car to have them look at it. I'm just going to go over there. I can do that. I don't need to ask. Good morning, Mary. When I need to do something, I don't need to ask for the time off. If you're working a job, you're going to end up having to, ask for time off, whether you need some time off to leave early to go do something, or you want to take a vacation. You have total, it's not just about money. I started doing this because I was looking for a way to replace the income from the job I lost, but you get the freedom, time freedom, the financial freedom, and the other thing you get that you can't put a price tag on is peace. And most people never get even one of those, let alone all three. Um, Good morning. There's no name. It just says and joined. What do people call you? Um, I mean, it's funny because people, there's a lot, and I did a TikTok video about you don't have your social media account set up properly. Because I do believe most of you are on here because you're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And most people don't want to even say that. Well, like, why are you on here? Good morning. Is it Joseph? Good morning, John. Most people don't want to say that. And even like where you're coming in from. And the other question, I think I've gotten two people to respond now. Good morning, Michelle, is how much time a day do you spend on social media? And there was one woman who was honest enough. She said she spends way too much time on it. Other people on here that they say they want to get out of their 9-to-5 job. I've met a lot of people that have told me that since I've been doing this. When the job I did lose, I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day commuting, and I don't miss that. And then there was one day I left like at 4 o'clock, and we were getting a little bit of snow. And I live in the northeast part of the U.S. It took me. It was after 7. I left at 4 that day, and it took me. I was after 7 by the time I got home, because where I live, when it starts getting, even if you get a little bit of snow, people start panicking. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I mean, today I was talking about what's holding you back from going after your dreams. And most people, sadly, they don't go after their dreams. Good morning, Lisa. Most people don't go after their dreams. And I think that's sad. There's a lot of people that I've met in this industry that they've went after their dreams and they got it. My mentor's one of them. She had a daycare she was running out of her house for 10 years. And now she's made $8 million in the last 3 years. She took her family on a vacation. It was Turkey, Italy, and Greece. They were there for like 3 weeks this summer. And she's in Mexico right now, and she's living the life of her dreams. I have a friend who always wanted to be a therapist. She actually spent the time part-time while she was working a full-time job to go to school to learn that she could be a psychologist. She spent 8 years doing that. And then she had got one client and she just never did anything after that. And I think that's sad. And it is true. It is true, sadly. Most people, good morning, Lori. Most people never go after their dreams. They may think about it, but they never do anything else. So curious as to why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I've been in this industry. Last month was my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a full-time job in over 9 years. I don't want one. I don't need one. Good morning, Leanna. Mr. E just joined. TikTok has some strange things. And Michelle, you just got a number 2, follow the live creator. TikTok does that. If you like this, and if anybody wants to like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel, TikTok does that. They show me who liked the live. Now, Michelle, it showed me that you just followed me, and they give you a number 2, followed the live creator. Good morning, DGAF. And Michael, I don't know if Michael's still on here, but Michael, if there was a number 1 person who liked the video a lot, and they don't. I did look at my analytics. They don't show you in your analytics like how many times each person liked the live. That's not something that they track in the analytics, but TikTok does do that. So good morning, Renee. Where are you coming in from? And they have, if you go up to the top of somebody's live stream now, I'll be back again tomorrow, the whole thing races out, because at the top they actually put people in order. Person who gave the most gifts, somebody who got the creators thing, but that's something TikTok does. Um, good morning, Chuck. Where are you coming in from? And actually, TikTok does that with the because Michelle, you got the number two, follow the creator. So good morning. Is it Kate? Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Carl. If you're jumping on, what part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. And there was a guy, I don't know if AJ's still on. I think it's just Kate at this point on YouTube. Asking me to help him get a job. I don't do that. Good morning, Ricky. I'm not an employment agency. I'm not a recruiter or headhunter or anything like that. And what I do is this isn't a job. It's a business. I make my own hours. I don't have a boss to report to. And at a certain time when I come in, good morning, Linda, I decide how much I want to do and how much I want to make. I have total time frame. I don't have to ask if I need time off. Good morning, Sarah. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. And Kate, if you want to share why you're on social media, most people, for whatever reason, good morning, Sarah, don't want to say why you're on social media. I do believe many of you, you're on social media because you're looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And a lot of people, they jump on my live stream, they jump off, they get on somebody else's. There's really no unless you're hosting what I'm doing, hosting these, there's really no accountability. You don't have to say or do anything if you don't want. You don't have to show your face. Good morning, Axe. Well, I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. If that's your name or that's what you named your page on TikTok. But most people, that's what I believe. Most people are doing it. And you're probably not realizing. When I say how much time a day do you spend on social media, most people you're spending more time, good morning, Kayla, than you may even realize. And you may think, and I do think it's addicting. You may get on for 15 minutes and then the 15 minutes turns to 30 and then an hour and then two. Good morning, Chinto. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I've been doing this, actually, it was 14 years in September. I haven't worked a job in over 9, don't need a job, don't want a job. And the job I lost, that's why I started this. I lost my job, and that was 14 years ago in August. I couldn't find another one. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was drowning in $250,000 of debt, and I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. I just could not find a job, and the one I did find was $12.50 an hour. I literally went to Google and searched. I found this industry in digital marketing. I don't think I'd still have my house if it wasn't for this. And it's been life-changing for me. I've had days where I've made more money in a single day than I made in a month when I was working a job. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, T-World. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Good morning, Beyond Fuse J5. What do people call you? But this is simple. Anybody can do this. It's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. Mastering it is something you need to do every day. How long that will take anybody. Good morning, Ada. I can't give anybody any income claims because I don't know you. I don't know your work ethic. I don't know the time and effort you'll put into this. But I can tell you, it is simple. It's not easy, and simple and easy aren't the same thing. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. I'm not sure what do people call you. Good morning, is it Sanjay? If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. What do people call you? Because some of these I can't tell. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning, Anthony. I do believe most of you, and then the other question, good morning, Benji. Most people don't want to admit it, but how much time a day you spend on social media. And you could say you're only going to get on for 15 minutes. And then it's 30 and an hour, 2 hours. I do think it can be addicting. And you could be laying on your couch, pick your phone up, and start scrolling, jump on somebody's live stream, jump on mine, jump on somebody else's. Good morning. Is it Alpha Comey? What do people call you? Good morning, Benji. Where are you coming in from? Most people don't, and you don't really have to do anything. Good morning, Arlene, on these lives. I'm the one really that is doing the work, putting out the content. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people like to jump on these live streams. You don't have to say or do anything. You don't have to show your face. You can jump on or off. And I can see when somebody jumps on, if they jump off and they come back on, I can see that. TikTok does show me that. YouTube does not. So if you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. How much time do you spend every day on social media? If anybody wants to be honest and answer it. And out of all these lives I've done, I think I've had 2 people now. And the one woman, she was very honest. She just said she spends way too much time on social media. And I believe her. And I do think it's addicting. And today I was just kind of get your juices flowing. What's holding you back from living the life of your dreams? And nobody's answered that. I do believe most people never go after their dreams. Good morning, Fabi. Good morning, Deborah. And I think that's sad. And I was sharing about a friend of mine that spent all that time. She spent 8 years part-time in school to be a psychologist, to get the education and training she needed to do that. And she saw one client and that was it. Good morning. Is it Mrs. Rogers to you? What do people call you? Good morning, Deborah, Arlene. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. And I was pondering this thought. Nobody's answered what's holding you back from living the life your dreams. So, and I committed to doing these for an hour. Unless somebody else you have a question, I'm going to end this now. I will be back tomorrow. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I appreciate you all for getting on, and I will see you again tomorrow.